But anyway, in the middle of that, they had the old-fashioned Donnybrook match between Sheamus and Pete Dunne. And right now, I don't know which I liked better, when he was the little Dickensian street urchin asking for more gruel, or now that he's, 5'6", working with a guy that's a foot taller and fucking 80 pounds heavier and is the, indestructible bruiser, Pete Dunne. But what part of the stage dressing did you like about this match? The whiskey barrels that surrounded the ring, the shillelagh that one guy had, the cricket bat that the other guy had, the bar set up over next to the announcers. And boy, if I'd have been one of the announcers, I could have used a drink about this point. Why do they have everything is so made to look so campy when they do sets like this, right? We just saw a Hell in a Cell match that they pulled out toolboxes and shit that you would have underneath the goddamn steel structure, and they whacked each other with wrenches. But here this looks like a game show set. Remember, what was it, Treasure Island? In the 70s, they used to put these fucking goofy marks that were contestants on the show in a boat and float them around a goddamn river apparatus to see if they could grab the treasure, and they'd fall into water.
I never saw this.
Oh, it was goddamn I don't know if that was it, Treasure Island, but there was one of the fans, the Cult of Cornette, can give us more information. But the point is, it looks so ridiculous, doesn't it? That it's so obviously, if they're not real barrels. We have constructed all of this for this set of this thing where these contestants are going to go through a simulated fucking combat for your entertainment. It's just too over the top for you to be able to get lost in it and take it seriously. It's just visually ridiculous. Have I made my point?
So you liked it?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was the best match of the night.
It's always weird when a feud you don't care about suddenly gets elevated to street fight status. Street fight status. And
she was the referee, I'll have you know.
I would have watched maybe. No, I didn't see this match.
Well,
I'm not a big Pete Dunne fan. I know there's people that really are, the bruiserweight. I liked him as Butch. I feel weird saying it because everyone thinks that's like a Vince McMahon thing that sucks, but it kind of worked. I see him as, from the set of Oliver or something.
Well, I think it's just too late to unsee it. I don't know. He has an odd, off-putting face. His face is oddly put together, somewhat like a ransom note. And
Jesus,
it just has a look that is that the human species, or is there some missing chromosome along the way? Was he possibly the Piltdown Man's descendant?
You think he's missing a chromosome? Really?
I don't know what's going on, but
what about his hair? What do you think of his hair?
His hair is not very well kempt, and if I was him, I would get some conditioner.
How do you like his gear?
Gear looks all right, but you'd need to have a better body to put in it, or a larger body, a bigger body.
All right, we'll find other things to talk about next week.
His accent is somewhat
I did see pictures on social media of Sheamus's back after the match, and he looks like he got the Michael Fay treatment.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing is, I don't know if I would, well, I guess Sheamus is trying to do anything he can to stay over because, boy, the upper echelon has gotten more crowded. And I know he's always been a Triple H favorite, it seems, and that's another thing. He's just so oddly translucent that I don't. Drew McIntyre ditched the sword and the cutting of the fake ropes and the bagpipes too, and all that and has become great. Can Sheamus do something else besides have bangers and hoist a pint in the pub, the old fart and dragon, or the old bell and whistle, or the old frog and enema, or whatever the fuck pub he's in? These are just thoughts at random. Can Sheamus do something like Drew has done to?
See, the problem is I see him on the show as like a crazy cab driver. You know what I mean? Like the way he dresses and acts backstage. I just see him as like, come on, buddy, get in my cab. And, tries to get you to Kennedy Airport or something. I don't buy him as anything else. With Drew and the sword.
Maybe that's a weekly TV segment. Sheamus on the way to Kennedy, and they've got the fucking dash cam. And
I'd watch that maybe. And with Drew, the sword thing, it was lame, but at least it'll pay off one day when he stabs his opponent right in the middle of the chest in the ring. Like, oh yeah, he has a sword. I forgot all about that. On Netflix.
On Netflix. Well, you can get away with that. It's the standards are more open. It's an adult situation. But Sheamus won after he was zip tied. His hands were zip tied behind his back.
I'll zip right through traffic. That's what I see his character as. Like, he's the cab driver.
And there's Joe Tortellini pitching to, now let's go to Sheamus. He's approaching the Kennedy Bridge or whatever the fuck is goddamn landmark up there.
Well, there's lots of landmarks. There's no Kennedy Bridge.
Yeah, well, we got a Kennedy Bridge. See, you got a Kennedy Airport. We got a Kennedy Bridge. Our bridge is more important than your airport. You got a bunch of airports.
When was it named the bridge?
It was named the bridge as soon as they built it. They said, well, there's a bridge we've built.
So it wasn't renamed? Like Kennedy Airport obviously wasn't the original name of the airport. They renamed it that after John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Well, I can't. It's just always been the Kennedy Bridge.
Within a month, right? I mean,
but now they built a new bridge next to it, and it's the Lincoln Bridge.
Because Kennedy died November 63. The Beatles were there in January 64. It was already Kennedy Airport.
Well, boy, it didn't take them a long time, did it? But it was Idlewild before that.
That's right. Now, let's not get too idle and wild here talking about this Sheamus Pete Dunne thing. What else was on Raw?